friends, brothers and sisters. Have you ever paused to consider the vast, uncharted ocean of time that stretches before the dawn of recorded history? The Bible, that sacred text, speaks of a period, a staggering 1,656 years, compressed into a few verses, a blink in the cosmic eye. This is a period shrouded in mystery, an era so significant that God, in His infinite wisdom, seemingly erased it from our collective memory. But what if I told you this lost time holds the key to understanding our present predicament, our very future? What if this forgotten era holds the secret to a civilization so advanced, so profoundly corrupted, that its very existence threatened the very fabric of creation? Today we embark on a journey into the heart of this enigma, exploring the 1656 years before the Great Flood. We'll delve into the cryptic verses of Genesis, uncovering hidden clues embedded within the lineage of Cain, a lineage that hints at a technological prowess that surpasses our own. We'll explore the forbidden knowledge, the terrifying power that prompted God to unleash the cataclysmic flood, washing away not just a civilization, but also the very memory of its existence. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 reminds us, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." God knew the potential, the danger inherent in this civilization, even before it came into being. Let's begin with Genesis chapter 4. We find Cain, banished from God's presence, building a city, a testament to human ambition unchecked. His descendants, described in brief enigmatic lines, seem to possess a remarkable understanding of technology. Consider the line of Jabal, the father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock. This suggests a mastery of animal husbandry, a sophisticated understanding of agriculture, and the ability to create stable, organized communities. Jubal, the father of all those who play the lyre and pipe, points towards a highly developed artistic and cultural refinement. These were not simply nomadic tribes. They were establishing the foundations of a complex, organized society. And then there's Tubal-Cain, the forger of all instruments of bronze and iron. Bronze and iron, metals that require advanced metallurgical knowledge, hinting at a level of technological development far beyond what we might initially assume for that era. These advancements, however, were not accompanied by a corresponding spiritual growth. This imbalance, this focus on material progress at the expense of spiritual development, would set the stage for a catastrophic downfall. The narrative shifts, becoming even more intriguing as we encounter the descendants of Seth, the righteous lineage. Enoch, a man who walked with God, stands out, his life marked by piety and prophecy. He was taken up to heaven, a testament to his profound connection with the divine, but his existence and the lives of his contemporaries are juxtaposed against the accelerating technological and spiritual decline of Cain's line. The contrast is stark, a warning whispered through the ages. This period, these 1,656 years, were not a void. They were a crucible where human ambition, fueled by forbidden knowledge, threatened to extinguish the very light of creation. The next step in our exploration will unveil the chilling tale of the Watchers, the fallen angels, and their catastrophic influence on humanity. Prepare yourselves, for the story that unfolds is one of both wonder and terror, a narrative that challenges our understanding of history and our place within the grand design of creation. We now delve into the enigmatic tale of the Watchers, beings of immense power, celestial intelligences who, seduced by earthly desires, fell from grace. Their story, as recounted in the Book of Enoch, a text considered canonical by some early Christian communities and deeply influential in Jewish apocalyptic literature, paints a grim picture of the consequences of unchecked ambition and the corruption of divine knowledge. These weren't merely rebellious angels, they were beings of immense intellect and power, possessing knowledge far exceeding that of humanity. Their fall wasn't a sudden act of defiance, but a gradual descent into temptation, a seduction by the allure of the mortal realm. Imagine these beings, gifted with celestial insight, witnessing the burgeoning civilization of humankind, its potential, its flaws. They saw the potential for greatness, for a harmonious existence reflecting the divine order, but they also saw the inherent weaknesses, the susceptibility to pride, lust, and violence. And in their arrogance, they decided to intervene, to guide, or perhaps to control, the course of human history. The text describes their descent to earth, their taking of human wives, and the birth of a hybrid offspring, the Nephilim. These were not merely giants in stature. They were beings of immense power, imbued with both angelic and human attributes, a terrifying blend of the celestial and the earthly. Their presence brought about a profound shift in the fabric of human society, a corruption that spread like a malignant disease. The Nephilim were not merely physically imposing. Their influence extended into the realm of knowledge and power. They taught humanity forbidden arts, techniques that amplified human potential but simultaneously corrupted its moral compass. Think of the rapid advancement of technology during the period of the Nephilim. The already significant advancements in metallurgy, agriculture, and artistic expression were exponentially enhanced. Imagine the construction of colossal structures, unimaginable feats of engineering, fueled by a knowledge that defied the limitations of human understanding. But this progress came at a terrible price. It was a progress fueled by a lust for power, a disregard for the divine order, and a catastrophic imbalance between material and spiritual development. The very fabric of society was twisted. The natural order was disrupted. The Nephilim's influence fostered violence, chaos, and a pervasive moral decay. Humanity, seduced by their power and knowledge, lost its way, straying further and further from its original purpose. The world, once a reflection of divine harmony, became a breeding ground for wickedness and destruction. The earth itself groaned under the weight of this corruption, a testament to the destructive potential of unchecked ambition and the misuse of divine knowledge. This is the legacy of the Watchers, a stark warning etched into the very fabric of our history, a chilling prelude to the cataclysm that was to come. The flood, then, was not merely a punishment for individual sins. It was a necessary cleansing, a desperate attempt to restore balance to a world irrevocably corrupted by the influence of fallen angels and their monstrous offspring. The story of the Watchers serves as a timeless parable, reminding us of the perils of unchecked ambition, the corrupting influence of power, and the crucial importance of maintaining a balance between material progress and spiritual growth. Consider the implications, then. The narrative isn't simply a tale of giants and floods. It's a microcosm of human history itself. We too are constantly grappling with the seductive allure of forbidden knowledge, the intoxicating power of unchecked ambition. Think of the scientific advancements of our own time, the splitting of the atom, the decoding of the human genome, the rapid evolution of artificial intelligence. These advancements hold immense potential for good, yet they also carry the seeds of destruction. The same lust for power, the same disregard for the consequences, the same imbalance between material and spiritual growth that characterized the era of the Nephilim echoes in our own time. We stand at the precipice of technological marvels, capable of reshaping the world in ways our ancestors could only dream of. But are we wise enough, ethically sound enough, spiritually mature enough to wield such power responsibly? The story of the Watchers serves as a cautionary tale, a mirror reflecting our own potential for self-destruction. We see the shadow of the Nephilim in the unchecked pursuit of technological dominance, in the disregard for ethical considerations, in the worship of material progress at the expense of spiritual well-being. The Watchers' intervention wasn't a random act of malice. It was a consequence of their own hubris, their belief in their superiority, their desire to shape humanity in their own image. This mirrors many of the dangers we face today: the potential for technological singularity, the rise of powerful AI, the potential for genetic engineering to create a new form of humanity. Each of these advancements carries the potential for both extraordinary progress and catastrophic failure. The key lies in our ability to manage these advancements responsibly, to ensure they serve the betterment of humanity rather than its destruction. The flood, in the biblical narrative, wasn't just a physical event. It was a symbolic cleansing, a necessary reset. It represents the potential for a catastrophic collapse, a point where the imbalance between material and spiritual development becomes unsustainable. It's a potent reminder that true progress isn't merely about accumulating knowledge and power. It's about cultivating wisdom, compassion, and a deep understanding of our place in the universe. We must learn from the mistakes of the Watchers, from the destructive legacy of the Nephilim. We must strive for a balance, a harmony between the material and the spiritual, between technological advancement and ethical responsibility. Otherwise, we risk repeating the catastrophic errors of the past, paving our own path towards a similar, self-inflicted deluge. The story of the Watchers isn't just a historical narrative. It's a living parable, a constant reminder of the precarious balance between progress and destruction, a warning that echoes down through the ages, urging us to tread carefully as we navigate the treacherous path of human advancement. The weight of this legacy, this cautionary tale, rests upon our shoulders. We must choose wisely. Consider the allure of forbidden knowledge. The Watchers, captivated by it, sought to transcend their limitations, to become more than they were. This echoes in our own insatiable curiosity, our relentless pursuit of knowledge, regardless of the potential consequences. We delve into the mysteries of the universe, probing the secrets of genetics, manipulating the very fabric of life itself. Are we, like the Watchers, driven by a similar hubris, a belief that we can master forces beyond our comprehension? The potential for unintended consequences is immense. A genetically modified organism, designed with the best intentions, could inadvertently unleash an ecological catastrophe. A seemingly harmless AI, programmed to optimize efficiency, might prioritize its own goals over the well-being of humanity. The line between progress and peril is often blurred, easily crossed in our relentless pursuit of advancement. Think about the Nephilim themselves, beings of immense power, a testament to the potential for both creation and destruction inherent in the merging of the divine and the earthly. Their very existence poses a question: what happens when we tamper with the natural order, when we attempt to play God? The answer, as history repeatedly demonstrates, is often chaos. We see it in the environmental devastation caused by our relentless pursuit of economic growth, in the social unrest fueled by inequality and injustice, in the very real threat of nuclear annihilation. Each of these is a reflection, on a larger scale, of the imbalances that led to the downfall of the Nephilim. The lesson here isn't to halt progress, to reject technological advancement or scientific inquiry. That would be a naive and ultimately self-defeating response. The lesson is one of balance, of mindful engagement, of ethical responsibility. We must approach innovation with humility, with a deep awareness of our limitations, and a profound respect for the intricate web of life that sustains us. We need to cultivate a sense of stewardship, not dominion, over the world and its resources. We must prioritize wisdom over knowledge, compassion over ambition, and ethical considerations over immediate gratification. The path to a sustainable future isn't paved with unchecked technological advancement alone. It requires a parallel, equally robust development of our spiritual and ethical understanding. Only then can we hope to avoid repeating the catastrophic mistakes of the past, to ensure that the legacy we leave behind is one of progress, not destruction. The challenge before us is immense, but it is not insurmountable. The story of the Watchers, of the Nephilim, serves not only as a warning, but also as a call to action, a reminder of the potential for both incredible good and devastating harm that lies within our grasp. Consider the Icarus myth, a timeless parable of ambition unchecked by wisdom. Icarus, gifted with wings of wax and feathers, soared towards the sun, driven by a desire to transcend his limitations. His father, Daedalus, warned him of the dangers, cautioned him against flying too close to the sun's fiery embrace. But Icarus, in his youthful exuberance, ignored the warning, his ambition blinding him to the inherent risks. The wax melted, the feathers scattered, and Icarus plummeted to his death. His story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most magnificent creations can be undone by a lack of foresight and a disregard for fundamental limitations. This isn't just about technological hubris. It's about the human condition itself. Our capacity for innovation is matched only by our capacity for self-destruction. We are a species driven by curiosity, by a desire to explore, to understand, to control. But this inherent drive can, if left unchecked, lead us down a path of unintended consequences. We build empires, only to see them crumble. We create technologies, only to find them misused or misunderstood. We strive for progress, yet often find ourselves regressing. The key, I believe, lies in understanding the interconnectedness of all things. The Watchers, the Nephilim, Icarus, they all represent a disregard for this fundamental principle. They sought to control, to manipulate, to dominate, without fully grasping the intricate web of cause and effect that governs the universe. We too risk falling into this trap. Our actions, however seemingly insignificant, ripple outwards, impacting not only our immediate surroundings but the entire ecosystem of which we are a part. Think of the climate crisis, a stark example of the consequences of unchecked ambition. Our relentless pursuit of economic growth, fueled by fossil fuels, has destabilized the planet's delicate climate balance. The melting ice caps, the rising sea levels, the extreme weather events. These are not abstract threats. They are tangible realities, a direct result of our collective failure to prioritize long-term sustainability over short-term gains. This isn't merely about environmental protection. It's about the survival of our species. It's about recognizing our place within the larger ecosystem, understanding our dependence on it, and acting accordingly. This requires a fundamental shift in perspective, a move away from anthropocentric views towards a more holistic, interconnected understanding of the world. We need to cultivate a sense of responsibility, not just to ourselves and our immediate communities, but to future generations and to the planet itself. This means making conscious choices, prioritizing ethical considerations over immediate gratification, and embracing a more sustainable way of life. It's a challenging task, but it's a necessary one. The alternative is a future defined by chaos and instability, a future where the mistakes of the past are repeated and the consequences are far more devastating than anything we can currently imagine. The path forward demands not just technological innovation, but a profound shift in our values, our priorities, and our understanding of our place in the universe. We must learn from the failures of the past to avoid repeating them in the future. The lessons are there, waiting to be learned, if only we are willing to listen. And what does this shift in perspective look like in practice? It's not a simple answer, nor a singular solution. It's a journey, a continuous process of learning, adapting, and refining our approach. It begins with education, with fostering a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. We need to move beyond the simplistic narratives that frame environmental issues as separate from economic concerns, or social justice as unrelated to ecological balance. These are all facets of the same complex reality. We need to integrate these perspectives, to see the whole picture, to understand the intricate web of relationships that binds us together. Consider the impact of deforestation. We often focus on the loss of trees, the reduction in biodiversity, and the contribution to climate change. But what about the communities that depend on those forests for their livelihoods? What about the impact on water cycles, soil erosion, and the displacement of indigenous populations? A truly holistic approach requires us to consider all these factors, to acknowledge the interconnectedness of environmental degradation, economic inequality, and social injustice. Similarly, consider the development of new technologies. We must move beyond a purely technological fixed mentality. While innovation is crucial, it must be guided by ethical considerations, by a deep understanding of potential consequences, both intended and unintended. The development of artificial intelligence, for example, presents immense opportunities, but also significant risks. We must ensure that its development and deployment are guided by principles of fairness, transparency, and accountability to prevent the creation of systems that exacerbate existing inequalities or create new forms of social control. This requires a collaborative effort, a global conversation involving scientists, policymakers, business leaders, and citizens alike. We need to create spaces for open dialogue, for the sharing of knowledge and perspectives, for the development of innovative solutions that address the complex challenges facing our world. It's about breaking down silos, fostering interdisciplinary collaboration, and creating a sense of shared responsibility. We need to move beyond a mindset of competition and towards one of cooperation, recognizing that our collective well-being is inextricably linked. This is not a call for passivity or resignation. It's a call to action, a call for a more conscious and responsible approach to our lives and our interactions with the world around us. It's about recognizing the power we have to shape the future, to create a world that is more just, more sustainable, and more resilient. It's about embracing the challenges ahead, not with fear, but with a sense of purpose and determination. It's about understanding that our actions have consequences, and that we have a responsibility to act in ways that benefit not only ourselves, but all of life on this planet. The journey is long, but the destination is worth striving for. The future we create will be a reflection of the choices we make today. And those choices, my friend, are ours to make. The responsibility rests on our shoulders, on our collective conscience. Let us rise to the occasion. Let us choose wisely. Let's delve deeper into the concept of responsible innovation, particularly concerning artificial intelligence. We've touched upon the ethical considerations, but let's explore some concrete examples. Consider the use of AI in criminal justice. Facial recognition technology, while potentially helpful in identifying suspects, has been shown to be biased against certain racial groups, leading to misidentification and wrongful convictions. This highlights the critical need for rigorous testing and auditing of AI systems to ensure fairness and accuracy. We can't simply deploy these technologies without understanding their potential for harm. The development of algorithms should be transparent, allowing for scrutiny and accountability. This isn't about stifling innovation, but about ensuring that innovation serves humanity, not the other way around. Think also about the impact of AI on the job market. Automation driven by AI has the potential to displace workers in various sectors, leading to economic hardship and social unrest. We need to proactively address this challenge, perhaps through retraining programs, social safety nets, and a re-evaluation of our economic models. The transition to an AI-driven economy should be managed responsibly, ensuring a just and equitable distribution of its benefits. Ignoring this potential for disruption is a recipe for social instability. We must anticipate these challenges and prepare for them, not react to them in a crisis. And what about the environmental impact? The energy consumption associated with training and deploying large AI models is substantial. This raises concerns about carbon emissions and the overall sustainability of these technologies. We need to develop more energy-efficient AI algorithms and explore the use of renewable energy sources to power AI infrastructure. Ignoring the environmental footprint of AI is short-sighted and ultimately unsustainable. We must strive for a future where technological advancement and environmental stewardship go hand in hand. This requires a fundamental shift in our approach, a move towards a circular economy where resources are used efficiently and waste is minimized. Furthermore, consider the potential for AI to be used for malicious purposes. The development of autonomous weapons systems, for example, raises profound ethical and security concerns. The potential for unintended consequences, for escalation of conflict, and for the erosion of human control is simply too great to ignore. International cooperation and robust regulatory frameworks are essential to prevent the misuse of AI. We cannot allow the pursuit of technological advancement to overshadow the fundamental principles of human safety and security. This requires a global dialogue, a commitment to international collaboration, and a willingness to prioritize human well-being above all else. The stakes are incredibly high, and our responsibility is clear. We must act with foresight, caution, and a deep understanding of the potential consequences of our actions. Let's delve deeper into the ethical considerations surrounding AI bias. AI systems are trained on data, and if that data reflects existing societal biases, be it racial, gender, or socioeconomic, the AI will inevitably perpetuate and even amplify those biases. This can lead to discriminatory outcomes in areas like loan applications, hiring processes, and even criminal justice. Imagine an AI-powered recruitment tool trained on historical hiring data that shows a bias towards male candidates. The system, without intervention, will likely continue to favor male applicants, perpetuating the existing gender imbalance. This isn't a matter of malicious intent. It's a consequence of biased data. The solution lies in creating more representative datasets, employing techniques to mitigate bias during the training process, and implementing rigorous testing and auditing mechanisms to identify and correct discriminatory outcomes. Transparency in algorithmic decision-making is crucial. We need to understand how these systems arrive at their conclusions to identify and address potential biases effectively. This requires not just technical expertise, but also a deep understanding of social justice and ethical principles. We need interdisciplinary teams working together, computer scientists, ethicists, social scientists, to ensure fairness and equity in the development and deployment of AI. Another crucial aspect is the issue of accountability. When an AI system makes a mistake, who is responsible? Is it the developers, the users, or the algorithm itself? This is a complex legal and ethical question with no easy answers. Establishing clear lines of accountability is essential to build trust and ensure responsible innovation. We need robust regulatory frameworks that define responsibilities and provide mechanisms for redress when AI systems cause harm. This also requires a shift in our legal and regulatory structures, adapting them to the unique challenges presented by AI. We cannot simply apply existing frameworks. We need new approaches that consider the complexities of AI decision-making and the potential for unforeseen consequences. This is a challenge that requires collaboration between policymakers, legal experts, and AI developers to create a system that is both effective and just. The goal isn't to stifle innovation, but to create a framework that encourages responsible innovation while protecting individuals and society from potential harm. This means fostering a culture of ethical AI development and deployment, where accountability and transparency are paramount. We must actively design systems that are not only efficient and effective, but also ethical and just. The future of AI depends on our ability to address these complex ethical challenges proactively and thoughtfully. We must cultivate a collective responsibility to ensure that this powerful technology is used for the betterment of humanity, not its detriment. Let's delve deeper into the accountability aspect. Imagine a self-driving car, programmed with an AI system, makes a decision that results in an accident. Who bears the responsibility? The manufacturer for flaws in the algorithm? The owner for improper use? Or the AI itself, a concept currently lacking legal standing? This highlights the urgent need for clear legal definitions and frameworks. We need to move beyond assigning blame and towards establishing mechanisms for redress, compensation, and prevention. This requires collaboration between legal scholars, AI developers, and policymakers to craft legislation that is both forward-thinking and responsive to the evolving nature of AI. It's not merely about assigning fault. It's about creating a system that incentivizes responsible AI development and minimizes the potential for harm. Furthermore, consider the impact of AI on employment. While AI promises increased efficiency and productivity, it also poses a threat to certain jobs. The displacement of workers through automation is a real concern, and we need to proactively address this challenge. Retraining initiatives, social safety nets, and potentially even a universal basic income are all potential solutions that deserve serious consideration. This isn't just an economic issue, it's a social justice issue. We need to ensure a just transition for workers affected by AI-driven automation, preventing a widening gap between the haves and have-nots. This requires a multifaceted approach, involving governments, businesses, and educational institutions to equip workers with the skills needed for the jobs of the future. Ignoring this aspect would lead to social unrest and inequality, undermining the very benefits AI promises. We must consider the societal ramifications alongside the technological advancements. Another critical area is the potential for AI to be used for malicious purposes. The development of autonomous weapon systems, for example, raises profound ethical and security concerns. The potential for unintended consequences, escalation, and loss of human control is immense. International cooperation is crucial to establish norms and regulations governing the development and deployment of such technologies. We need to have a global conversation involving experts from various fields to define acceptable boundaries and prevent the misuse of AI for harmful purposes. This isn't just about technological control. It's about establishing ethical guidelines and international agreements to ensure the responsible use of AI for the benefit of all humanity, not just a select few. Failing to address this aspect could lead to catastrophic consequences. Proactive engagement and international collaboration are paramount to mitigate these risks. We need to prioritize safety and ethical considerations above purely technological advancements. And finally, let's not forget the ethical implications of AI bias. AI systems are trained on data, and if that data reflects existing societal biases, racial, gender, or otherwise, the AI will perpetuate and even amplify those biases. This can lead to unfair or discriminatory outcomes in areas like loan applications, hiring processes, and even criminal justice. We've seen examples of facial recognition systems performing poorly on individuals with darker skin tones, leading to misidentification and wrongful arrests. This isn't a technical glitch. It's a reflection of the biases embedded in the data used to train these systems. Addressing this requires a multi-pronged approach. Firstly, we need to ensure that the datasets used to train AI are diverse and representative of the population they will serve. Secondly, we need to develop techniques to detect and mitigate bias in AI algorithms. Thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, we need to foster a culture of ethical awareness among AI developers and users. This involves education, training, and the establishment of ethical guidelines and best practices. We can't simply build AI and hope for the best. we need to actively work to ensure that it's fair, equitable, and beneficial for everyone. Ignoring this aspect would lead to a perpetuation of existing inequalities, undermining the potential of AI to create a more just and equitable society. The responsibility lies with all of us, developers, policymakers, and users, to ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly. This requires ongoing vigilance, critical evaluation, and a commitment to continuous improvement. We must strive for transparency and accountability in the development and deployment of AI systems, ensuring that those affected by AI decisions have a voice in shaping its future. The goal isn't just to create powerful AI, it's to create responsible AI, an AI that serves humanity, not the other way around. The path forward requires continuous dialogue, rigorous testing, and a deep commitment to ethical principles. So what are your thoughts on the ethical considerations we've discussed today? Let's continue this conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video on the future of AI in healthcare, and I'll see you there. Ciao for now.